think when people ask what kind of place St. Meinrad is, I like to start out by saying that it is a place of tremendous energy and a place of tremendous peace. At St. Meinrad, of course, we're very conscious of the Benedictine tradition, the Benedictine heritage. But as we continue to develop the tradition, we are also moving into the future and looking forward to what can we continue to do here to seek a God and to serve the church. What are the things we can do to bring the treasures of the past into the future?
These little pinpricks?
Oh, yeah. I can see.
The Forward Together campaign is really an opportunity for us here at St. Meinrad, not only to look at the work that we have done to help build up the church in the past, but in a very particular way to help us look toward the future. What is the future of the Catholic Church in the United States? What do we need to provide here at St. Meinrad for resources for that future?
The particular needs we're looking at in this campaign, continuing to develop our outreach to ministry to young adults and to younger Catholics, and also to continue to develop the rich Benedictine heritage of liturgical excellence.
The liturgy of the church really depends upon not only the activities of what are happening in our church today, but also of tradition. And our hope is that the Chant Institute will provide us with the opportunity to really wed the tradition with the future in the life of the liturgical church today.
We have a long history of chant here at St. Meinrad, particularly after the Second Vatican Council. Father Columba Kelly has been instrumental in the translation and adaptation of Latin chant into English. He's also been instrumental in promoting chant in parishes outside of the monastery, making resources available to interested musicians, and his work is really the foundation of what the Institute for Sacred Music will continue to do. The primary goal of the Institute for Sacred Music is to reignite discussion about what liturgical music brings to the liturgy, how it brings us to prayer. So we are focused primarily on engaging the public, not only through formal coursework, but through various types of events, whether they deal with manuscripts or concerts, recordings, workshops, learning how to sing, printed materials for singers to promote chant in their own communities, in their own lives, and even in their own homes.
I had not been to campus before, although I'd seen pictures. And my husband and I came up, when we got to about the Monte Cassino driveway, I could see the towers. And I got so excited. It was like, there it is, we're going there. I had been trained as a classical musician, so I've been a musician all of my life, but I had never heard the beauty of chant music that I heard in the Archabbey that weekend that we came. And I didn't participate, I just sat in awe during that weekend. And so that initiated a desire to know what that was and how to make such beautiful music.
Alleluia, alleluia.
My church, up until this point, had not used any chant whatsoever. But when COVID hit, we couldn't do congregational singing, and so I chose, because I was familiar with them, Father Columba's entrance antiphons and communion antiphons. And it was interesting, the response of the people. One cantor told me that was absolutely the most beautiful piece I have ever cantored. She said, after having practiced it multiple times a day for this whole entire week, I realized how the music goes with the words, how beautiful the melody is, and how I remember it. I know that scripture, and I will never forget it.
I think chant is something we easily take for granted in the church, that it is so ancient and that it comes with so much authority. It's not something that continues on its own. The tradition of the church and chant is not my work, it's not your work, it's our work, and we are responsible for passing it on together.
One of the things that we have been looking at through the years has been the way in which St. Meinrad will extend its outreach. Now is the time for us to really focus on the life of young people in the church today. And here we're not talking about priests and deacons and lay ministers. Here we're talking about families. Here we're talking about young people who are beginning their married life. Here we're talking about single people who still want to have a meaningful life in the church today. And so this program, the programs that we're developing through Forward Together really give us the chance to build and extend the life of that young church today. And it's a very exciting prospect.
One word that I would use to describe One Bread, One Cup would be sacramental.
Real.
Authentic.
Transformative.
I think I would choose the word hope. I think that this program gives me and many who have been here hope for the future of the church. It gives us hope that there is a better way to live, hope that the Catholic faith is enough to connect us to Christ, and just hope that there's a way to live your life in the world that's different than what society is putting out there.
One of the biggest challenges for youth of the church today is a lack of involvement. They see the church as something to check off. The sacraments, after you receive confirmation, you're kind of done and you can go off to finish your high school and then go to college, and then you don't really have to touch your faith except for maybe on Sundays or maybe on holy days or whenever you start to have a family. But I think that our young people need to realize that it's something for us to engage with right now. Christ is calling us now into this moment to be with Him and to have Him be the Lord of our lives.
In the past, we knew that many young people in college may have left the church, but then eventually they come back to the church when they start their families. Today, that's less the case. We are not seeing young people returning to the church. They're not seeing the church as an essential part of their life. And so our real purpose in the Center for Youth and Young Adult Evangelization is to evangelize in many ways these young adults so that they not only see the significance of church life for themselves and for their families, but also see the necessity of it.
I have been involved with youth ministry for years. My involvement started when I was a Catholic school teacher. I was asked to volunteer, and from there, I was kind of hooked. It's nice to be able to connect with the youth, to share your faith, and to truly make a difference. My first trip to St. Meinrad was for the One Bread, One Cup conference. When our youth return, they are full of joy and excitement and just a new zeal for the church. They're ready to serve their local parish. They're excited about a personal prayer life. I like to share the story of my daughter after her first experience at One Bread, One Cup. It was one of the most transformative experiences for her spiritually, and she decided to pursue a pastoral leadership degree because of her influence from St. Meinrad. There is such a need to expand the outreach to young adults. There are so many distractions, and there are not enough opportunities for the teens and young adults to study the Word, to hear the mission of the church, and to be included in the liturgy. Youth have a desire, they want to be heard, and they want to be a vital part of the church, but we need to provide those opportunities for them. And One Bread, One Cup and programs like that at St. Meinrad are essential.
One of the things I think we have to really consider is that the church of the future involves our future resources, and that is our young people. Our task at St. Meinrad and our task in the church really in general is to help build that, to make it stronger, to make it more geared toward the future. and to help those young people today to make their discipleship, their dedication to the church, and ultimately their relationship with God more real.